Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at BricsForge Proform and MetaBox custom fields. And what we're going to do is use the Proform to dynamically change some values that are displayed on this header top bar. For this example, we're going to say if the poolside grill is open or closed and what the hours for the grill are, and then we can even show and hide the top bar depending on what this value is here. This is a fairly complex tutorial, so bear with me. Probably going to make some mistakes, but I'll do my best to keep rolling through and try to make it make as much sense as possible. Before we dive in, let's just see how this works. So if I set this to open, this is going to say open, and then whatever values here will display here. If I say that this is closed, I've got a condition that will hide this div right here and turn it off. So let's just do that real quick and refresh the page. And it says the grill is closed and the hours aren't there because the grill's closed. So if we set it to open soon with 12 a.m. to 5 p.m. and refresh, it should pop this open because this condition is set to hide it if it says closed or is not like open. So if the word open isn't in this or here, then it's not going to show it. So pretty much if it says closed or you know, if we put test in here, it should turn it off because it doesn't say open. So it's only going to show that if the word open is in the field. So let's just reset everything. We've got open 8 a.m. to 5. We can change this to 8 a.m. to 12. And on refresh, 8 a.m. to 12. Or we can just say hide the top bar. And that should turn off the entire top bar there. This is really handy if you don't want your client to edit in the back end. You can set this front-end form up to edit the custom fields and just let them control that data right there. And what we're doing is just overriding the fields over and over again. So I will rebuild everything and show you how it works, and you will be able to do this as well. A few prerequisites are MetaBox and BricsForge. A quick disclaimer, I am an affiliate for MetaBox. I am not an affiliate for BricsForge. So if you click on any of my MetaBox links, I will earn a commission if you make a purchase, and that really just helps me keep funding this channel, and I really appreciate it if you don't have MetaBox and you want to get it. All right, let's dive into the tutorial. Okay, so we are on a page called the custom top bar notification page, and I've got 3 custom fields that only apply to this page. That's the open status, the operating hours, and the hide top bar field. These are all text fields, so anytime we make a change, let's open this up on the front end one more time. So if I set this to closed and send that over and come back and look here, this custom field gets set to closed, and that's how it's being controlled. You don't have to use BricsForge to control these. You could use a MetaBox front-end form, but I just really enjoy editing the form styles here, and there are many settings on the BricsForge Proform that you're just not going to have on the MetaBox front-end form, and it's all integrated with Bricks Builder, so it works really well. All right, so that's how the page is set up and the custom fields. Let's go build everything from scratch and dive in. So the first step you're going to want to take is to add a new page where you're going to control the front-end form. So I'm going to call this page top bar notification and publish that page. The next step is going to be to create your MetaBox custom fields. So I'm going to hop over to the meta box settings, and I'm going to create a new custom field group by going to meta box, custom fields, and add new. And this will be our top bar fields. So that is published, and we need to add 3 fields. I'm going to add 3 text fields here. And the first one is going to be open status. And I add the underscore CF to all of my IDs, just so it's a very unique ID here. So that's just going to be a plain text field for open status. We're going to add another text field for open hours. And that's going to be open underscore hours underscore CF. And I'm going to add one more text field for show hide top bar. And that's it. And I'm going to click update. And those are our 3 fields. And make note of these 3 field IDs because we are going to need those with the BricsForge Proform here in a second. If you'd like to get a text document and write those down, that would be handy. Open status CF, open hours CF, and show hide top bar. Those are my fields, and those are going to map over to the BricsForge Proform later. So let's keep that off to the side, and we'll reference that here in a second. We're also going to need to set up the settings here and set this to post type, and then choose page. But we don't want it on every single page, so we're going to add an advanced location rule, and this is going to be our top bar notification page. So these custom fields will only apply to that page. And let's go see if our page, when I refresh this, has those fields. And there they are. Open status, open hours, show hide top bar. It's just that easy. The next step is going to be jumping into the builder and then creating our header top row. So we will do that next. I've got my top bar on a template for my header, but you could put it anywhere you want to. If you're following along with me, you need a header template with a general header set up already. So if you don't have that, go build that really quickly. It doesn't have to be fancy, but that's what I'm going to use. And let's dive into that and see what it looks like. So I got an image, a button, and a nav menu here. So nothing crazy. There's an off canvas from Oxy Extras on there, but we're not going to use that. You may notice some other items here. This is from Advanced Themer, which I will demo some of that here because I've been using it on every build and it's amazing. I can't tell you how awesome Advanced Themer is. Here are some other shortcuts here from Advanced Themer. So if you notice those, that's what those are coming from. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is add a section and drag it to the top. And this is an Advanced Themer shortcut. And a container for my top bar. Inside the container, I'm going to add 2 blocks, one for the open status and one for the open hours. So now I've got a section, container, and 2 blocks. In each block, I'm going to add a basic text. And it's just that fast. So if you're thinking about getting Advanced Themer, I believe there's going to be an LTD offering opening up again. Don't quote me on that. I've just seen some chatter on the Facebook about it. It's worth it. I promise. I love it. If you're a BIM naming convention person, developer like I am, you will love this next thing, and I've been using it all the time. So we've got our section, container, block, basic text, block, basic text. Let's right click on this section here and go to class converter. This is a new menu item from Advanced Themer, and click it. And what this is going to do is it's going to add classes to every single item in the structure for that element and its children only. So we're going to call this top bar double underscore. So it's the class prefix. So it's going to put that on every single class. And I want to do it to the element and children, and I'm not going to mess with these settings here. You can if you want. Click create classes. So you'll see the section has top bar double underscore section. The container has double underscore container. Block, basic text. I mean, you just auto added BIM classes like that fast to everything. You don't even have to type it in just one time. And the other thing, depending on what you've named this element, so if let's just demo it real quick. If I add a section, drag this to the bottom and add a block. If I call this fancy stuff, I believe what the tool is going to do when you say extend classes, class converter, and I'm going to test class double underscore, it should, yeah, the class is copied by what you name it. That's awesome. I just can't tell you how excited I am to be developing right now with bricks and all of these tools. I mean, that is so fast. So test class double underscore section. I called this thing fancy stuff. And my class is named fancy stuff. Come on, what more do you want out of your builder? That's why bricks is the best. People say it's hard and it's has a learning curve. I don't know. I think it's the most intuitive builder I've ever used. I love it. All right, so I'm going to delete that and let's get back into our top bar. I am using automatic CSS, so I'm going to style using automatic CSS. Let's start with the section and let's do layout and a extra small padding top and bottom and a dark background color. I think I had it like something, this base color here. Awesome, click save. Next thing I'm going to do is hop down to the container, make sure I'm on my class, and let's do a grid and grid 2. That will separate these two blocks here into a grid. I don't think we need an auto grid. Let's just do a grid 2. On the basic text, we will style the color to be white, just like that. And that's pretty much it on the styling. So let's get into the custom field mapping. Before we do that, let's just look at our styles one more time. We've got the section with the padding extra small, the background, we've got it set to this dark color. On the container, which is wrapping the blocks, it's a grid, and that is a 2-column grid. You might want to adjust that for responsiveness later. I'm not going to do responsive today in this demo. On the block, we don't have anything yet. And then on the basic text, we have white. That's it. So let's go into this basic text and delete all that and say the poolside grill is, and then we're going to add some dynamic data and just type open. Yeah, open status is what it's called. So if you scroll to the bottom of your dynamic data, you'll see MetaBox pages, and these are any custom fields for pages. So the status is what we want, and let's bring up our text document here. I called it the open status custom field, so that's correct. And then this one is going to be grill hours. And then we should be able to scroll back down to the bottom, or you can type the search here. Open hours is what I called this one. And yeah, that's all we need to do. If you wanted to do a rich text here and have some styles there, or if you wanted to do like a bold tag here, let's do bold. Add a bold tag that will, make that a little bit darker. You could add a class there if you wanted to. But we're just going to use bold tags for now. Or, if you wanted to have any structure you wanted, if you wanted to wrap some text and do it that way, you could. But this is the way I'm going to do it here, which is nice because in this basic text element, you can put your HTML tags in there and style it up a little bit. So that's really nice. And click save. Okay. So we've got our basic text with our custom fields. And let's just start poking around on the front end and see what we got. Let's go back to my pages here and then go to the top bar notification, and let's just take a look and see if there's anything there. Okay, so the poolside grill is null and grill hours are null. If we wanted to edit that and just go put some data in there, open, and that's 8 a.m. 5 p.m. that should be good enough for now. And yes, we're open. And so you can see the dynamic data is coming across in the fields there, which is a good thing. Okay, the tricky part is coming up, so bear with me. All right, so now what I did previously is I added a condition. So this first one is our status. So this is grill status, and this is grill hours. So I said if grill hours, if grill status is open, then I want to display this. But if it says closed, I want this to go away, because if it's closed, obviously there are no hours. So let's do that. If you click on the conditions here, select your element, and I'm doing the text wrapper. Select conditions, and we're going to add a new condition, and this one's going to be dynamic data. And we can go call this dynamic data to control this thing over here. So we're going to go grab the status, and that is the open status. If it is show if it is contains the word open. Another condition you could do is if it's not closed, show it. So we'll try either one of these. I like to use the wildcard contains parameter here. So if it contains open, so if this field over here contains the word open, show this. Let's go test that real quick. So this is open and this is showing. So let's edit, not with bricks, let's edit the page and type the word close so it's not the word open, and see what happens. So that is now gone. Come back here and say open. Update, it should pop back up. Cool, it's working. The next thing we're going to want to do is mess with this field down here, the show hide top bar. We're going to set this to show and hit update. Let's jump back into the builder and add that condition on the section. So this is the entire section wrapper for the top bar. We're going to add that condition to say if dynamic data and we want show hide top bar equals show to show that. So let's test that that's working. So far so good. If it says hide, or really if it says anything else, should go away. Awesome, we're working. All right. Change it back to show, pops back up. So if you wanted to just stop the tutorial right there, you know, this would work. Your client would need to log in to WordPress, come to the page, edit the custom fields this way. You know, and certain users, they could do that, but it's just so much more fancy to have the custom form. So pretty much we're done here. If you wanted to style this up a little bit more, maybe make it look a little bit better, something like on this div, let's see, let's get out of the conditions and just go edit this container and do something like let's see, where do we want to do this? Yeah, let's do it not on the container, but on the div wrapping the text. If you just wanted to center that up, yeah, align cross-axis center. Okay, something cool is I'm going to show you. With Advanced Themer, I did this on the ID. I styled the ID, and then over here you'll see this little red bar pop up that's like, hey, don't do that. We don't want to style on IDs unless we're overriding something. So let's delete that. So now the ID style is gone. Click it again, it'll pop back up, and you're like, uh-oh. Click the class, center it, and both of them will center. And so you can see where you've got styles on an ID level. That's awesome. It's so cool. And all these nifty little tips, you know, once you start using them, you cannot live without them. So we got a little bit more style going on. This is centered up here. Okay, cool. We're done with that. Let's close our header templates. And now all we've got is our top bar notification page. So what we were editing was the template for the header, and now we're going to edit the page for the form, where we're going to store the front end form. So let's go do that and hit edit with bricks. And now it's going to get a little bit more tricky, so bear with me. Okay, so our grill is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but we want to control that from here. Let's add a section. And I have enabled the Bricks Forge Pro Forms element here. And we can go take a peek at that real quick. So if you head back over to the admin, go to Bricks and Bricks Forge, you'll see the elements here, and I've got Pro Forms, and then the option elements turned on. With the option, it says you can easily output data from the database. I don't know if I'm going to need that, but I've been using that in other sections on this site, so I'm going to leave that on and leave Pro Forms on, and that's it. That's all you need. So back on our top bar notification page, go to Bricks Forge and add a Pro Form. Yeah, there's the option element. That's where you can go grab options from your database, which is really technical, getting into SQL, but super powerful. Okay, so the standard form is here with these fields, name, email, and message. We're going to change this to status, and this is going to be a select. And we're not going to have a placeholder. We're just going to say status. And it's going to be open, closed, opening soon. And I think, yeah, we can do closing soon, see what happens. So we've got those, and then the top one is going to be the default, I think. Initial value, we're going to put open. So it's not much different than another form. We'll get into the settings here in a second, but let's just get it all set up first. This next field is going to be a select, and it's going to be, this is going to be hours for operation, something like that. We're going to do 8 a.m. - 5 p.m. Copy those and paste those, and then we'll do 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then 12 p.m. to 5, maybe like that. So this is like all day, this is like brunch, lunch, and this is the afternoon. So we'll just use those values there, and then our initial value is going to be this 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and click save. Take note of this ID. We're going to come back and grab those. And then this third one is going to be a select, and get rid of the placeholder. This is going to be show hide top bar. And our initial value is going to be show. Options are going to be show hide. And that is it for that. Let's go and grab our text document, because this is going to be pretty handy, because we're going to need to map our custom fields from MetaBox with the BricsForge form fields. So in the BricsForge ProForm field, you'll see each one of these fields will have an ID, and we need that. So I'm going to grab that one and put that on our open status. I'm going to go down to the operation hours of operation, and put that on our opening hours field. And we're just mapping, creating a link between the form and the field. And then this one is the show hide top bar. So we've got our MetaBox, and then this is BricsForge form field. That's that second one there. So we're going to keep those off to the side and use those in just a second. Okay, my brain is starting to hurt because this is kind of challenging here. I'm going to save that. And then what we're going to do next is go to the action. So what do we want this form to do? So you've got the fields, the button, and then the action is where this becomes really powerful here, because we have some other actions here. And we want to use the BricsForge update post meta. So if you click that and say, okay, we're going to update post meta, this new dialog pops up here that says update post meta, and then we can add our items. So this first one, now this is tricky, so we'll go slow, but this first one here, we're going to need 3 of them, one for each one of these mappings here, and we're just going to be mapping this custom field to the BricsForge form ID. That's all we're doing. It's not, once you do it once, it's not tricky. It took me a while to figure it out, but it's not that bad. So this first parameter is the post ID. So if you wanted that to be dynamic, or you wanted that to be a specific page or post, you could put that in here, but it says leave empty for current post ID. And since I'm going to be pulling the post ID from the page, that's why I'm putting this form on its own page. We don't need to, oops, sorry. we don't need to define that. We just need to leave it empty because it's just going to grab the post ID on its own. So for this tutorial, just leave that empty. That parameter is going to dynamically pull it because we're using the same page that the form is on. Okay? Confusing a little bit, powerful, yes. So the post meta name, that is going to be the meta field, the custom field from MetaBox. So that's going to be our open status custom field, and then the form ID is going to be in this value here, and the update type, we want to replace the value. You could increment things, add to array, remove from array, whatever you want, but we're just going to replace the value, and we're not going to mess with the live update selector. And to be honest, I've never used that. I don't exactly know what that is for. I'll explore that later. Let's do it again. So item number 2, we're going to leave the post ID as is. The post meta name, this one's going to be our open hours custom field, and our field value or field ID is going to be that second field. If you forget your field ID, just go back up to field or on hours of operation, go grab it. That's all you have to do. Update post meta section, and that's where we're mapping our custom fields. Just pop it right there. And in this one, we're going to replace value as well. Let's do the third one, which is the show hide. And now you see why I was writing this stuff down. This is handy. You're going to need to do this. So we're going to update this form field ID and replace value. And that's it. While we're here, let's make it look a little bit better. So I'm on the submit button styling here. I'm going to do 100% width and make the background color something cool like this red, and maybe, I don't know, the typography here, color to white. Did that take? I don't think it took. Try again. Yeah, there we go. So that looks good to me. Let's go look at this form on the front end, and there we go. I think it should work. I'm kind of nervous. Let's just hit hide and send it over, see what happens. Oh, it's working. Hooray. Makes me so happy. It means I know what I'm talking about. That was kind of some weird styling going on there. Let's see. Let's hit show, send that over. Let's go define a width for that form, because it's kind of like jumping all around. That seems kind of weird. I'm not sure if that's a bug or what, but if we go into the form and let's do form class and then go style that and say 50%, see if it jumps around. Then let's hop up to this container here and add a class called form wrapper, and let's center it up and see what we get on the front end now. Okay, so we've got open. Let's do 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. All right, that one's working. And that one's working. Let's do closed. Refresh. The poolside grill is closed, and then it hides that. If you put opening soon, I think something's going to be broken here. Nope. It's working. The poolside grill is opening soon. I have to go look at that condition again. I'm not exactly sure what I put there. I think if you put closing soon, it should stay open. Stay there. Ooh, no, because it's contained closing. So, you know, might have to go adjust that closing soon condition to make that work exactly how we want it. But I think you get the picture here, what's going on. You can give your client, or maybe you wanted to have the client's pool side grill manager manage this. You could have a login and have them only have this page visible, and they can control whatever. You could put specials. You could put a button for a pop-up that said see menu or whatever you want. You could maybe control the different type of menus here. The possibilities are endless, and the reason I'm recommending these tools is because the developers, from my experience working with these tools, know what they're talking about. You're not just getting some random plugin off the WordPress plugins page. You're getting some really nice plugins from these developers, BricsForge, Bricks Extras, Advanced Themer. So I'm going with their solutions for now, and it's always a risk when you buy these things, but from what I've seen, these 3 plugin developers are awesome. I can't speak highly enough for them from my experience. Let's just kind of mess around here. It shows that I've got some styling on an ID level here. I bet it's pulling from these settings here that aren't styles, but anyways, I did notice on this one open, I think it's this one right here, it says your email. Let's see if we can debug that one. So when you have a placeholder, it's going to stick it in the drop down, which is kind of weird. We don't want that. So delete that. Let's see if we can fix that. That's good. That's good. Okay. And now let's just look one more time what we did. We really did 2 complex things. We created the MetaBox custom fields, which have their own ID. This thingy right here. And that's the post meta with that custom field. And so you need that ID. And then we created these fields in this form. So that's a second type of field, and it has a form ID, and that's being controlled by the BricsForge Proform. And all we did was we mapped these together so that we can send data from this direction, from the form over to the custom field. I just want to make sure there's nothing here that I'm missing that's confusing, because I want to talk about all that stuff. The actions is update the post meta, and then once you click that, you can see this pop up. If you wanted to do this slightly different, you could say update post, and then you have different options. So you'd need to enter some different things here, but maybe you could store some of this data in the post title or the post content. But that kind of limits you to those 2 things. Like you'd be changing the post title and the post content all the time. So updating post meta gives you much more flexibility by giving you access to all the custom fields that are appended onto your post with something like MetaBox. So that's what I'm going with. And yeah, that's it. That's the tutorial. This technology today is just going crazy. I just can't believe how fast everything with Bricks has been developing so quickly. Advanced Themers over here on the right with all of their quick shortcuts, all of their builder enhancements. I think we looked at this class converter from Advanced Themer. Awesome, amazing. Advanced Themer has a lock on the style when you're on the ID, so you gotta, like, if you want to go style something, you gotta unlock it. And then I think when you kind of click off and then come back to something, it always like locks it back. So yeah, super cool. This is getting to be a really long tutorial, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna close the grill down. Grill's closed. calling it a day. Everybody go home. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments or reach out to me on Facebook. John Aperture is my handle there. So let me know what you think. And if you have any issues getting this set up, drop a note. If you want to see something specific, drop that in the comments. And if you could, like and subscribe. And I'll keep pumping out these videos. Hey, everybody, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And let me know what awesome stuff you're building with Bricks Builder. Have a good one. Bye-bye.